Hey there, welcome to Craft Central Designs. My name is Dwynn, and I'm very excited to share with you today this simply gorgeous summer wreath in beautiful shades of pinks and greens with a shimmery pink watermelon sign that I purchased at the Dollar Tree, a beautiful gingham check and watermelon print bow as well. And I am just a little bit crazy for this beautiful wreath. Welcome to all viewing this gorgeous summer wreath tutorial today. If you are not currently a subscriber, I hope you will consider becoming one. And as well, give this tutorial a thumbs up and maybe share this one with your friends and leave me your comments. I'd love to know what you think of this summer wreath. Okay, let me show you how I created this wreath. I have here a 14-inch wire wreath frame from the Dollar Tree. I have here a pink shimmery watermelon sign that I got at the Dollar Tree. And the moment I saw this sign, I knew exactly what I was going to do with it. I have here some beautiful snowball mesh. I purchased this one at craftoutlet.com, as well as this beautiful green snowball mesh. Same source from craftoutlet.com. And I have this white deco mesh from Hobby Lobby with the stripes on the side. And I purchase that every other week at 40% off at Hobby Lobby. And as well, I have there some mesh tubing that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, the white mesh tubing. I have some pipe cleaners, which I always get at Hobby Lobby. I have this gorgeous pink watermelon 2.5-inch wired ribbon. I believe I purchased that on Amazon, but I believe they also have it on craftoutlet.com. And I got that green gingham check 2.5-inch wired ribbon on craftoutlet.com. One of my very favorite sources for wreath supplies, craftoutlet.com. Okay, I'm going to be creating some bundles to place on my wreath frame. I'm going to be cutting my sections of deco mesh in 14-inch pieces. I'm going to be using one of each of the colors per bundle. So I'm cutting them all in 14-inch sections. This deco mesh is a very nice deco mesh, very minimal fraying. I'm going to be creating these bundles with the woodland method. I have my factory edges on the left and right. I place my fingers on the outside of the deco mesh piece, and I roll it up 2 to 3 times because I want a nice, tight, coiled up fold on my deco mesh. And I'm going to turn it around and do the other side, wrapping that 2 to 3 times or rolling it up, and then I scrunch up the deco mesh the rest of the way to meet up with the other side, and then I clip it. The same with the white. I roll it up 2 to 3 times, placing my fingers on the outside to get a nice tight roll. Place my clip that I always pick up at the Dollar Tree. You could use chip clips or whatever you have, a clothespin, anything like that. I roll up the other side 2 to 3 times, and then I scrunch up the remainder all the way to the other side, and then I clip it. The same with the green. Roll it up 2 to 3 times, clip it, roll it up 2 to 3 times, and then I move my fingers to the center to do the scrunching. All the way up to the other side, clip it. Now I'm going to take all 3 of those pieces and put them together to create one bundle. I always put my white in the middle. I crisscross them And in the center, I'm going to take a half a pipe cleaner, wrap that around nice and firmly. Try and get your pipe cleaner tails even in the back so that when you go to apply that bundle to the wreath frame, you have an even amount of pipe cleaner tails to make that process easier. Look at the beautiful colors. These colors are so beautiful together. And this is going to create quite a beautiful application on that wreath frame. I'm going to show you that one more time. Roll up the edges with my hands out on the edges to get a nice firm roll. Clip it, turn it around, roll it up, nice and firm, nice firm roll, 2 to 3 times. Then I move my fingers to the center and scrunch it up to the other side and clip it. And now the white. Roll it up 2 to 3 times. Clip it. Turn it around. Roll it up 2 to 3 times. I get a nice firm, tight roll there. Then I move my fingers to the center and go up that deco mesh with my fingertips and scrunch it up till I get to the other side and then clip it. And then last but not least, this beautiful pink snowball mesh. Roll it up 2 to 3 times, clip it, turn it around, roll it up on the other side, move my fingers to the center, scrunch it up with my fingertips, and clip it. I'm going to place all 3 pieces together, the white in the center. I crisscross them a little bit when I place them together. Take a half a pipe cleaner, wrap it around, even up your tails in the back. I always fold my deco mesh in half when I do that. And then I want to make sure that I have a little bit of an even tail in the back. And I give it a nice firm twist. I put 22 bundles of that beautiful deco mesh combination on this wreath frame. I'm going to be using the second wire from the outside, and then I'm going to use the third wire for the next bundle. Then back to the second wire, the third, the second, and so on. I place my deco mesh bundle firmly on the wreath wire, pull it tightly. I flip my wreath over and then I pull it nice and tight and give it a few twists. And then I push my deco mesh bundles up against one another and I fill up that wreath frame with 22 bundles of deco mesh. Now this is going to make a really beautiful full application, and this wreath is going to be a very full, beautiful size when it's finished. I'm going to prepare my watermelon sign by applying 2 pipe cleaners to the back. I'm going to have 2 little holes there at the top where the hanger is, but I'm going to cover up those holes and I'll show you how I do that in just a bit. Firstly, I'm just going to prepare the back of my sign. Now I'm going to be using these full-size pipe cleaners, 2 of them, to act as a hanger or a means to, not a hanger, but a means to attach them to the wreath wires to hold that sign on the wreath. I shape my pipe cleaners so that I have a little bit of a straight edge there on the bottom. I'm going to use Aleene's tacky glue as well as hot glue. And the reason why I use Aleene's tacky glue is if this wreath is hanging outside and it's going to be summer, so it's likely there's going to be, hot days no matter where you live. And this is just an extra means to be sure that stays firmly, those pipe cleaners stay firmly attached to the back of that sign. So I put a bit of Aleene's Techie glue and some hot glue as well. That pink silicone mat that you see there at the bottom of the picture, that's something new that I discovered at the Dollar Tree this week. It's a little silicone mat, and it enables you to just lay your hot glue gun down. And I just love it. I tend to get very immersed in my projects, and I just throw my glue gun down on the table. I don't throw it, but I put it down on the table, and then I tend to create a mess, and this silicone mat really helps out with that particular situation. Okay, and so I also put a little piece of felt for extra security on that pipe cleaner. And now I'm going to create the most divine bow with this beautiful pink watermelon print 2.5 inch ribbon. And I also have this green gingham check, which I love as well. I left a 12-inch tail on my bow. So I'm going to be folding over my loops, which are around 10.5 to 11 inches in length. I fold over my loops, pinch it in the center. I'm going to create this as my base of my bow, and it's going to be 3 loops on each side. I twist my ribbon before I fold it over, so I always get the nicest side of my ribbon facing up. And then I fold over my loops. Twist, as you saw me do there. Fold over my loop, making sure that my loops are symmetrical. Now I just eyeball this because I've been doing bows for a very long time. If you need to measure your loops, that's fine. Just have a means of measuring them, some kind of ruler or some type of measuring mat underneath you so that you can easily just measure up your length of your loops. If you would like to see a bow tutorial, I have multiple ones. Just refer to my playlist. I'm going to wrap around that bow to secure all of those loops one full-size pipe cleaner. I always use a pipe cleaner that's complementary to the bow color that I'm using. So I have 3 loops on each side, or 6 loops altogether, with 12-inch tails. Each of those loops 10.5 to 11 inches in length. And there you have the base of our beautiful bow. I'm going to wait until later to finish my tails of my bow when I see how long I want them when I actually get them on the wreath. Look how beautiful those 2 ribbons go together. Okay, 12-inch tail on that watermelon print ribbon as well. I fold over my loops, but I'm making them just a little bit smaller on this layer of the bow. I make them around 9.5 to 10 inches. And on this bow, I'm only going to create 2 loops on each side, or 4 loops altogether. Using the same method, folding over my loops, pinching it in the center, twisting my ribbon, folding over the other loop. Watch my tutorials so that you can learn to make bows like this. You could also use a bow dabra or an easy bow maker. That's totally up to you. I created a center loop on that bow, and I just did so by turning that loop under. Then I took the pipe cleaner from around the back, poked it through the center to secure that center loop, and now I have a beautiful 4-loop bow, 2 loops on each side. I'm going to cut my ribbon off from the spool, leaving that 12-inch tail. Now I have one tail on the top of my bow, so I'm just going to poke that right through that center loop, marry it up with the other tail on the bottom. I'm going to shape my loops a little bit there. And I'm going to be placing this bow on top of the green gingham check bow. I have my pipe cleaners on the back there. I'm going to simply wrap them around that bow in between the tails. I match up the centers, press it firmly together, and then I'm going to twist those pipe cleaners in the back so those two bows will be married up and securely fastened together. I'm going to determine, as I mentioned, what to do with the tails as far as finishing them once I get it on the wreath. And how pretty is that bow? I am just loving this wreath and the colors. All right, so we are going to create some ribbon bundles. I created 12 ribbon bundles for this wreath. I normally cut my ribbon bundles, pieces of ribbon, in 8-inch sections, but for this wreath, it's so full and it's such a full, deep application of deco mesh. I want to be sure that my tails of my ribbon bundles are poking up through the mesh. So for this wreath, I'm cutting 10-inch long pieces of ribbon. And I'm just going to gather that up in the center, placing the watermelon ribbon on top of the gingham check. I use a half a pipe cleaner, fold it in half, bring it around the back, give it a nice tight twist, and then I'm going to dovetail the ends of my ribbon. I place my scissors on the outside edge and cut right through to the center, creating a dovetail finish to the ends of my ribbons. And again, 12 bundles, 12 ribbon bundles for this particular wreath. I'll be distributing those 12 bundles all around that deco mesh wreath. And here we have the deco mesh all applied to the wreath. And I'm just going to place my ribbon bundles around the wreath, deciding how I'm going to distribute them. And you'll want to distribute them with some along the more inner perimeter of the wreath and then some around the outer. Just distribute them evenly. You'll also want to be mindful of where you're going to place your bow, because you don't need to have a ribbon bundle where the bow is going to be. It will just simply be covered up there. So I'm going to place my bow on this wreath at around 5 o'clock. So what I do is I just find a wreath wire, I dig my fingers down into the deco mesh, take the tails of that ribbon bundle, the pipe cleaner tails, and I just twist them around that wreath frame. And then I open up my ribbon bundles to really show off the beautiful side of the ribbons. There's that silicone mat that I mentioned before. Now I'm going to make some mesh tubing bundles by simply creating figure 8 loops. And I create 2 figure 8 loops, pinching it in the center, and I leave about a 6-inch tail. And I created just 6 of these mesh tube bundles to place on my wreath. I take a half a pipe cleaner, wrap it around the center, pull it tightly, and give it a twist in the back. And I'm going to apply those mesh bundles around the wreath in the same manner that I applied the ribbon bundles. I love mesh tubing bundles on a wreath. Okay, so I've applied my bow at 5 o'clock, and my watermelon sign I applied the same way, reaching my fingers through the deco mesh, finding a wreath wire, and using those pipe cleaners on the back of the sign to attach it. Now I do tilt my watermelon a little bit sideways. Now notice what I'm pointing to on that watermelon sign. I took a resin ladybug and a resin bumblebee, and on the yellow part and the red part I painted it pink. These are my resin bumblebees and ladybugs, and I just painted them with a little paintbrush. And then I took a fine paintbrush and just placed the dots back on the ladybug and the stripes on the bee. Great idea, huh? So cute. A pink ladybug and a pink bumblebee. What a great way, if you ask me, to cover up those holes and add a little summer touch, more of a summer touch to that wreath. This wreath doesn't get much more summery looking. It's so, so beautiful. So I put a full-size pipe cleaner, I created a hanger, and then I'm going to take my wire cutters and clean up that hot mess of pipe cleaners on the back of there. And this wreath is done, and oh, so beautiful. This is one of my favorites. I know I've said it, I don't know, maybe 20 times, but I love, love, love the colors, and I love this wreath. And I hope you do as well. Let me know what you think of this one in the comments. If you're not currently a subscriber, I hope you'll consider becoming one. And give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel to grow, and I appreciate that. Okay, until next time, you all take care.